Russian President Vladimir Putin's close aide Dmitry Medvedev has slammed the Gulf countries for letting the United States set up their military bases. The attack linked to the ongoing war in Iran. Medvedev, who is currently the deputy chair of Russia's Security Council, took to social platform X and said, "The Gulf Arab countries let American bases onto their territory. Naively, they expected protection from them. Like hell, the US just uses them while protecting only one country. Think long and hard about whether you really need US bases. They're not protection, they're a threat." Tehran and its allies hit back against Israel, US military assets in Gulf states, and targets critical to the world's energy production. Earlier, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov said that all those suffering from what he called US and Israeli aggression were Moscow's strategic partners.
All those who are suffering from the aggression of the United States and Israel are our strategic partners. We maintain a dialogue with them, and we will do everything possible to ensure that, together with other peace-loving members of the global community, including within the UN Security Council and the General Assembly, we foster an atmosphere that will be conducive to making this operation completely impossible. I don't know how much such moral and political means will be able to help, but we must do everything to ensure that this voice, the voice of the overwhelming majority of the global community, is heard.
According to a Washington Post, Russia is secretly providing Iran with intelligence on the locations of American warships and aircraft in the Middle East.
Russia is providing Iran with intelligence on the locations of American warships and aircraft in the Middle East, according to a report by the Washington Post. US officials say the information is helping Tehran target American military assets in the region. The Washington Post reported that the intelligence sharing marks the first indication that another major US adversary may be indirectly involved in the expanding conflict. 3 officials familiar with the intelligence said Moscow has passed targeting data to Iran since the war began. According to the Washington Post, the information reportedly includes positions of US warships, military aircraft, and radar systems across the Middle East. Officials say such intelligence could help Iran plan attacks against American forces and installations. The report says Russia has been sharing the information since the conflict escalated on Saturday. While Moscow has not commented publicly, officials say the assistance signals a deeper geopolitical dimension to the ongoing war. The Washington Post also reported that the conflict has already turned deadly for American troops. 6 US service members were killed and several others injured in an Iranian drone strike on a military site in Kuwait on Sunday. Since the start of the war, Iran has launched thousands of one-way attack drones and hundreds of missiles at US military positions, embassies, and other targets in the region, according to officials cited by the Washington Post. At the same time, the joint US-Israeli campaign has struck more than 2,000 targets inside Iran. These include ballistic missile facilities, naval assets, and sites linked to Iran's leadership structure, the Washington Post reported. 2 officials familiar with the intelligence told the Washington Post that China does not appear to be providing similar assistance to Iran. While Beijing maintains close ties with Tehran, there is currently no indication it is sharing targeting data.
As missiles hit oil facilities and tankers in the Gulf, Moscow is stepping into the crisis. The Kremlin says President Vladimir Putin will convey Arab leaders' concerns directly to Tehran over strikes on energy infrastructure. The move follows a flurry of calls between Putin and Gulf state leaders. Oil prices have now risen for a third straight day as attacks target regional energy assets. Russia says it will try to ease tensions, even as fighting widens. But notably, there are no plans for a Putin-Trump conversation. According to Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, President Putin will convey deep concern from Arab leaders about Iranian strikes on oil infrastructure. Peskov said Putin would use Moscow's ongoing dialogue with the Iranian leadership to press for at least a slight easing of tensions. Russia maintains a strategic partnership with Iran, giving it a rare communication channel at a volatile moment. The Kremlin described the outreach as part of efforts to contain escalation spreading across the Gulf. Putin held multiple calls with 4 Arab Gulf leaders over the past 24 hours. Among them was Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates. The UAE described recent Iranian strikes as blatant attacks targeting Emirati territory and other Arab states. Both leaders reviewed what they called serious military and security developments unfolding across the region. The joint message? Halt escalation before the conflict widens further. The outreach underscores growing alarm among Gulf states as energy infrastructure comes under fire. Oil prices have climbed for a third consecutive day. The spike follows Iranian retaliatory strikes against energy facilities in Gulf countries and against tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. The strait remains one of the world's most critical oil choke points. Any disruption there reverberates instantly across global markets. With infrastructure targeted and shipping threatened, energy security has moved to the center of the crisis. The economic ripple effect now matches the military escalation. Despite the widening confrontation, Putin has not spoken with U.S. President Donald Trump since the U.S. and Israel launched strikes against Iran. Peskov confirmed there are no plans for such a conversation at this time. That absence is notable. As Washington and Tel Aviv press forward militarily, Moscow is engaging Gulf capitals, not the White House. Diplomatic lines remain active, but selectively. And in a rapidly escalating conflict, who speaks to whom can matter as much as what is said. Russia says it will make every effort to contribute to easing tensions. Gulf leaders are voicing alarm over attacks on their infrastructure. Oil markets are reacting, and military exchanges continue. The diplomatic track is now racing against events on the ground. Whether Moscow's outreach slows the momentum or merely tracks it remains to be seen.
As missile strikes and drone attacks ripple across the Gulf, diplomacy moved swiftly behind the scenes. The President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, received a phone call from Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two leaders discussed what the UAE described as blatant Iranian attacks targeting Emirati territory and several Arab states. They also reviewed the serious military and security developments unfolding across the region. Both leaders called for an immediate halt to escalation. The message: contain the conflict before it widens further. According to official statements from Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed and President Putin spoke on Monday as tensions intensified across the Middle East. The discussion focused on Iranian attacks targeting the UAE and other Arab countries, as well as the broader security and military implications for regional and international stability. The call reflects growing diplomatic engagement as Gulf states face direct security threats. During the conversation, both leaders stressed the need for an immediate halt to military escalation. They emphasized avoiding any widening of the conflict and underscored the importance of dialogue and diplomacy in resolving disputes. The appeal comes at a time when missile exchanges and retaliatory operations have expanded across multiple fronts in the region. The UAE has described the recent Iranian strikes as blatant attacks on its territory and on several Arab nations. The developments have raised concerns over regional stability, energy security, and the safety of key infrastructure hubs. Russia, which maintains strategic ties across the Middle East, has positioned itself as a diplomatic actor calling for restraint.